No. And he won the first game of the time control, so he draws the second with black, repeating a variation from earlier. This bishop takes h7 pawn didn't amount to anything, but I'm still surprised to see them repeat the opening. But that was a good result for Magnus Carlsen.
And tentatively, a good start to the 3-minute segment. He wins the first game with white. He draws from a position of strength with black. And the lead hasn't reached the kind of proportions where you need to go crazy in every game. I think he's realized that. He's departed from, King's Indian and e4, c5. He's doing what makes him comfortable. And I think that's Magnus's path to coming back in this match.
For sure. He doesn't need to take huge risks at this point. So much time is left in the match. Let's remind everybody, there are 45 minutes, you see the top left of your screen, remaining in the 3-minute plus 1 second increment time portion. After that, we get 30 minutes of bullet chess. So many games remain in this match. Magnus does not have to just throw everything at Hikaru just yet.
Absolutely not, but he might have to throw something at Hikaru. They've had this pawn structure before. That game ended up in a very heated draw. Is there anything for white here, or is it a purely symbolic advantage? The eval bar seems to claim that white has a little something, maybe due to his control over the e-file.
Don't play knight c7 here. Bishop takes knight, queen takes queen e8 would be check and mate. So watch out for your last rank.
And it would be a logical move. Try to get the knight around to e6. Knight d6 is a better move because now if you do the same thing, it merely leads to a queen trade. You can pick up e8 and then block on f8. Magnus poking and prodding and shuffling and chiseling. And he's trying his best to milk a little advantage out of this position.
Okay, don't play f3 because there's bishop h4, something to note. So he just trades light square bishops and he's going to take the e-file. No, this actually is a nagging advantage for white if black is not careful. Because king f8, you would like to play rook e8 after, but there's bishop d6 check in some of these positions. You just have to be careful here.
And he does play king f8, so he sort of fakes Magnus out. Rook e8 could still happen. Bishop d6, amazingly, there's bishop e7, Robert. I'm not actually sure that that's that bad for black.
Yeah, good point. You just are trying to trade off these pieces there, and everything is protected for Hikaru. And I'm looking at the ratings. Hikaru 32-17, Magnus 32-13. They're 4 rating points apart. They will jockey for position on the Blitz leaderboard.
So I think the big question here, if we pull up an analysis board, we won't do that a lot, we promise, in the 3-minute segment. But real fast, g3, rook e8, bishop d6 check, bishop e7. The question actually is the pawn endgame totally lifeless? Probably the answer is yes, but these pawn endgames can be deceptive. I was also thinking about a move like bishop e5 here, but black just pushes the bishop away and then moves his bishop back to d8. And if you go back to d6, there's just king f7, Robert. So I feel like this is hope chess. I think rook e8 is unstoppable, and the advantage is going to evaporate.
Good recognition from Hikaru Nakamura. Bishop d6 check may look scary at first glance, but it leads to nothing. So we're going to get a pawn endgame, king and pawn endgame that is, and there should be no advantage for white there. And something Hikaru does very well, Danya, is waste match clock. So g3 was played, by the way, that if there is a draw, he'll play it out for the full 50 moves. He's not just going to go and draw.
And they're playing this line out. Now, bishop e5, f6. Of course, if white wants to draw, you trade everything on e7, but you're absolutely right. Hikaru is good at forcing that clock down. He's also good at getting time advantages, and Magnus can't just let his clock get down to 10 seconds because anything can happen in that situation against Hikaru.
That's right. And I'm wondering why there's even any advantage on the evaluation bar for white.
Why 0.4?
If you swap everything on e7, the only difference is that white is opponent g3 and black's king is a little bit more active. So why would white be better? That's the question I don't have the answer to. And bishop f4 played, bishop f6, we might just see a draw.
And Hikaru just adhering to his strategy. He's up by 3. He could try to play that position. I think against anybody else, he would make a move like f6. But he respects Magnus, and he knows that as long as he holds his own with black and puts pressure with white, he'll be good. Decision time for Hikaru.
And I think I saw Magnus' screen change for a second, so I feel like he looked at the camera and he saw Hikaru leaning back because Hikaru's going to waste time right now.
Oh, he's going to wait for 2 minutes? I forgot.
Yeah, he's going to play bishop f6 after using all of the time on his clock.
Yeah, he's just going to sit around, sip his whatever's in that stein of his. And this is going to double as a rest time for Hikaru. You can just see him totally relaxed there, looking up at the heavens, Beth Harmon style, and waiting for that clock to tick down.
You know how in baseball, when you're going to walk a batter, you can just say, I'm going to walk them, so you don't have to throw 4 pitches, right?
I don't really watch baseball, but yes.
it's a waste of time. So my point is, I feel like we should implement like if it's going to be a resignation or it's going to be a 3-time repetition, you just allow the players to tell you that. And you just take it off the match clock because the players, they do get a little bit of rest. That's the good news for them. But I think it's hard to sit and just do nothing as Hikaru is going to make the draw. But we're just waiting for his clock to hit 1 second left.
What do you think the stoppage time is going to be when this match hits 90 minutes? No, just kidding. No stoppage time in chess. Well, Hikaru has stopped the match as he waits. You can let 48 seconds evaporate and then call the timeout, end the game with bishop f6. He has measured it. He knows it's a 3-time repetition, and the game ends automatically. Fun fact, Robert, you'll co-sign me on this. Over the board, there's actually a very strict procedure for claiming 3-time repetition. You actually cannot make the move itself. You have to stop the clock, call over the arbiter, the tournament director, the person who makes the results official, and you have to show him the actual repetition on your score sheet. A lot of people don't realize this, and they actually miss an opportunity to claim a draw because of the improper procedure.
Yeah, but I'm less preoccupied with procedure here.